Okay, socks. Let's talk about them. So first and foremost, as a fairly well experienced hiker at this point, I can safely say that in any weather, there is benefits to wearing 2 pairs of socks to reduce the amount of friction that transfers to your skin. You know, that's all there is to it. Yeah, 2 pairs of socks reduces the amount of friction that transfers to your skin. So now when it comes to which 2 pairs of socks, the debate continues to rage on and most likely will do so for all of time. But at least in my experience, I have found the 2 best socks for me are the aforementioned Iniinji toe sock. And I'm going to do my best to explain how these toe socks reduce friction to your foot skin. And I was just thinking of an even better setup. Let's try something here. Okay, so I figure if you're gonna talk sock, you better show off your feet. Okay, so here's my foot, my left foot to be exact. And so the general practice is that when you're using a dual sock system, you want your liner sock to be very thin. Hence the advantage of the Iniinji ultra thin. It is very thin, and when you stretch this guy out, you'll stretch it out and hold it up to the light, and you can see light through it. The benefit of that is when you have a thin fabric tight to your skin, hey kitty, it will quickly move moisture away from your skin, which is wicking. So a very thin sock tight to the skin will help with wicking. And so I'm just going to go ahead and put this bad boy on. Try to keep it in frame while I'm doing it. And so one of the areas for me personally where the Iniinji toe sock reduces skin-to-skin friction, which can cause blisters, is right between the toes. And what happens is, as you'll see, the Iniinji sock is skin tight. It's very stretchy, and as it stretches out over the foot, it is skin tight. Because it's skin tight, it's not very loose. And so it's not prone to shifting around. And so as you move, your toes will inevitably, they don't necessarily go like this, it's kind of exaggerated, but what they do is they curl in and rub against the bottom. You know, the bottom of your foot rubs against that top of your insole, you know, inside the footwear, and that curling over time generates friction, which, you know, just raws out the tissue and causes a blister or an actual cut. And so because of the skin tightness, the sock does not move. And so the sock is now acting like a sort of second skin, where it's the sock that takes the brunt of most of that abrasion up against the skin. And when you look closely, there's a few points in place that are very well made in terms of the seaming that's done on these socks. The seams are nearly invisible and barely noticeable when you walk. They're exceptionally well-crafted socks in that respect. So, you know, there's any number of stitching and different, you know, weave patterns throughout the sock that help to hold the sock in place while you're walking. And the sock remaining in place is the most important part in reducing blisterings, because if the sock is sliding around and flopping in the shoe and subsequently rubbing against your skin, or allowing your skin to rub against itself as in between the toes, then that can lead to blistering. So in almost every aspect, I would say Iniinji has truly nailed keeping the sock snug. So that covers the liner. Now let's talk about the outer layer. Well, the outer layer that goes in the shoe. And so personally with the outer layer, I find the thicker the better. And these Dakota Ultimate Steel Toe socks are easily double the thickness of just about any competing sock on the market. You know, that's no joke. You know, look out, darn tough. You know, once people figure it out, whew. And I'm actually hesitant to say that, because I don't want there to be a run on these guys. I don't want to lose a pair at the laundromat and have to go out to buy one and not be able to find them anywhere at any old store, you know. And you know, again, this is a very well-made sock. There are a number of features that make it more comfortable. It is a top sewn seam. I don't know if you can see that there. The seam is is over the toes instead of under the toes. That's just personally, I find that is like step one, high quality sock. Top seam. There's a seam under the toes, especially in a lower quality sock. That's, in my opinion, that's Blister City. And there's also a number of different weaving patterns throughout the sock that generate different tension areas, similar as to what we can see here in the Iniinji with the various seams and weaving patterns. I don't know if you can see that there on camera. Yeah, a little bit closer you can see that it's a different weave there, and that weave down the middle is just a slightly stretchier zone, and it also stretches in a different way around the foot, and the reason they do that is to just help attenuate the fit and make it stay in place. And so then let's just go ahead and slap this bad boy on there. And so the benefit of having an extra thick outer layer sock is it can help to adjust certain fit issues with a shoe. Let's say you know, you got your anti-blister fancy toe sock. You've got your fancy insoles and your fancy shoe. And, but it's still just a little bit too loose. You know, maybe you have to pull the laces in, just that little bit of extra tightness, so it's no longer snug and now it's tight. An extra thick sock can just absorb that extra amount of space to help sort out your fit issues. And you know, these are the exact type of socks that I wore when I personally walked 60 kilometers in a single day, no less. And I only got one small blister that was barely noticeable, on my left pinky toe, and that guy always gets blistered when I push long distances, so I wasn't too surprised. It was definitely an expected blister, but no blisters or serious skin abrasion issues anywhere else on my feet during the 60-kilometer day, thanks to primarily socks. Good fitting socks is your number one defense Good fitting, high quality socks is your number one defense against blisters, and then after that is conditioning. And when it comes to conditioning, that's a you problem. So I figure we've been looking at my foot here for a good 5-6 minutes, so I'll cut it here and say a few more words face to face. Okay, and here we are, back lounged out. I've said some words about socks, and when it comes to hiking long distances or just walking long distances in general, personally I do feel a dual sock system is best. And when it comes to which dual socks do I think are best, I definitely would go with Iniinji Ultra Thin Cool Max Toe Socks and Dakota Ultimate Steel Toes Boot Sock. And you can get the Iniinji socks, at least locally to Southern Ontario at MEC or Sport Check, I think. And the Dakota socks is a brand available through Mark's Works Warehouse, or just Mark's. Yeah, I'm a bit old. Yeah, they're just Mark's, not Mark's Works. They haven't been in Mark's Works for ages, but yeah, that's where you go, Mark's. Okay, so thick sock, thin sock. It's better to have a toe sock than not a toe sock. Okay, well, I've been rambling on for quite enough time about socks. If anything that I've said today has made sense, please like, share, comment the video. Standard operating procedure with this YouTube stuff, and even if what I said today hasn't made sense, feel free to comment. Please don't dislike my videos, though. No, you can dislike it if you want. If it doesn't make sense, dislike, comment, share. It's a new age. No publicity is bad publicity, right? Well, alright, you know what to do. And as always, stay warm and dry out there.